Cannamerx, also known as the Cannabis Mercantile Exchange, is a fully automated B2B international auction platform for wholesale cannabis, cannabis products, hemp products, and genetics. There are more than 57 Canadian licensed cannabis companies that have joined Cannamerx, and since June 2018, the company helped facilitate the trade of more than 25 tons of cannabis. The company has totaled over $22 million in bids received through its automated auction platform and supply agreement auction process.
Dietwald Claus joins me now. He's the CEO of Cannamerx. Dietwald, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Dietwald, tell us about the business model of Cannamerx. I saw the press release. It was very intriguing because it sounds like a really big thing that I haven't heard of.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm very happy to be here today. We had a really great day. Today we went live with our auction platform for hemp as well for the international market. So now we can service the international hemp industry, including biomass and extracts, CBD, etc., in addition to our existing market in the legal cannabis industry in Canada.
Okay.
What we do is quite simple. We are a fully automated auction platform for the B2B business. So it's we are redefining how cannabis and hemp is traded at the commodity level. Companies upload the information for their product, buyers bid on it, trade clears, markets clear, prices are set, and that's it.
So I'm a extractor in Edmonton, and I've got demand for my product, but I'm out of my own feedstock. I go onto your site, I bid on a lot of cannabis for extraction, and it arrives.
Yes, you bid on it, the price is settled, then you do some negotiation on the exact terms of delivery and payment with the company that sells it. And then it goes through, and they're strongly protected by our terms of service. So if something is wrong with the product that gets delivered, they can send it back and we don't charge them.
B2B eBay.
Yeah, fundamentally.
Very cool. So how much cannabis are you moving right now on, like you just started, so I'm assuming this are there clients? Is there an active market now?
Yes, we have now 61 clients. We are probably getting 2 or 3 more on today. 57 or 58 of those are Canadian LPs. Most of the major LPs are on there. We can't really tell who is on there because that is protected. We don't reveal that information unless they would announce it themselves.
I see.
But if you hear a major name in the industry, it's probably on our platform.
So if I was, say, a large LP, I don't want to even use any names, and I was growing a crop for premium flower, and it got infected with spider mites, and so it's basically a write-off for flower, but now I can sell it to an extractor because spider mites.
If it is safe, yes, you can put it on the platform and extractor, they bid it, you set a reserve price. Buyers can bid below the reserve price, and then you can choose to accept it, but the reserve price protects the seller, so they are not forced to sell anything below the price they want. They can set the time for 4 days to 30 days as they wish, and that's it. It's really straightforward and simple.
So the thing that made me so interested about this when I read it is I thought, well, this is the very platform by which the commoditization of cannabis occurs and the prices become streamlined at the commodity level across the country. So that's probably what's going to happen. It's probably happening right this very minute.
We have, just this morning, we had 1,450 kilogram of hemp come on. So we went live with the platform for hemp, and within half an hour, 1.5 tons of hemp went on. And milled hemp, good quality stuff. And there's a good product on there. You can have high quality, very nice bud for smoking on there. People have sold 2 kilogram of products there that was sufficient quality. Others have sold, we recently sold 300 kilo, almost 300 kilo in less than an hour. It went on and it was gone before we could look.
Right, okay, so I could see how this is going to be very useful and dynamic for shipping intra-Canada. Are there complications if, say, Aurora wants to ship some to Denmark to its facility there and sell it on to Germany? Like, where do the international regulatory implications start to limit the usefulness of the platform?
If international trade is difficult because you need an export license on the Canadian side, an import license on the German side, say. But that doesn't mean that a German company and a Canadian company cannot negotiate the price on the platform. A company can choose to make it available to the international market. They can click a button, domestic or international only. And if an international company bids on it, and we make sure they're all legal companies, no company that is not legal to come into the system based on their government regulation status can come onto the platform, so they are pre-cleared trading partners. So if they're willing to take the risk of selling in advance to a international company, then they settle the price, and then they know if there's no export or import permit given, then the deal falls through, in which case we won't charge them any money. But it helps them still get the price in, still easier, rather than having to call 10, 20 different companies and spend your time with that. And take the risk that you don't get the best price, because if you call around, you stop when you get a good enough price.
Right.
With this, you get the best possible price, depending, of course, how many people on the system. The more people on the system, the better the price becomes, of course.
Sure, and we can realistically expect the international barriers to diminish over time as the free trade mechanisms that we all know and love kick in,
Yes.
and the market normalizes.
Exactly.
Wow.
That is why we are going into the international market now. We are going to Berlin at the end of the month for the great trade show there, and we're going to pitch it to the European markets, especially for the hemp industry, to be able to come into the system.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm thinking of going to that conference myself because
wonderful.
as a YouTube partner, there's a YouTube studio in Berlin, and I
Okay.
thought I'll go to the conference and I'll interview people from the German market
Yes.
and start to report on the German cannabis market. So this is what I'm going to be doing. So we'll talk about that later, but
Yes.
I'll definitely contact
Yes.
you and have you on in Germany, and we can speak in German.
Yes, absolutely.
Except I don't speak German, so I'm going to have to sit there and be like with an interpreter, or I'm going to take a crash course and just learn my phrases that I'm going to ask you. Anyways,
That sounds good.
a future problem. How does the economics work for you, the company, in terms of gross margin? How do you make a percentage or an end? What's your model?
So our model is, when we started the company, we were told we could charge 5% on both ends of the market for like 10% fees, because that's what people are used to with the brokers. We find that is unreasonable, it's way too high. So we have a model where the highest fee is 1.5%, the lowest fee is 0.75%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That
if-
should be a good barrier to competition.
It's just a reasonable price. That
Yeah.
is what things should cost. They shouldn't cost 10, 15%.
Right.
And we have good protections for our clients in the system as well, as I said, for money-back guarantees, etc. So our model is simply volume. Very simple. And we have done the math. The international market is big enough for this. And there's a definite need for it, because
Sure.
we're the first who are doing this. There have been people before us who tried it, but nobody has actually gotten traction. We're the first to get traction. We're the first to actually have trade going on. And you can follow it on our Twitter account. You can see exactly what's happening on the platform, because we actually tweet it out.
Okay, what is your trading symbol?
We are not publicly traded.
Oh, you're not publicly traded.
No.
So that was a private press release I saw.
Yes.
Are you going to stay a private company?
Well, at this point, we are a private company, and it's too early to even think about that.
Okay, well, just to put my hand up, if you're raising money, I will invest in this idea because it sounds like a winner to me.
Yes.
Fantastic. So, it strikes me as very daring and innovative to be seizing the opportunity from such an idea, even though the regulations are not perfect for a global success scenario right now. But that's exactly the time to be doing it. And that's why when I saw the press release, I'm like, oh, this is very smart. That's why I wanted to get you in here. I guess it's just a matter of time then till you will actually have the ability to trade in all forms of CBD, THC, extracted, concentrated.
CBD right now we can do anywhere,
Right.
where it's legal to trade that. So this is a way for us to get into the US market, where we can, and in the process of onboarding American sellers. And THC, well, wherever it becomes legal. We're not going to enter the US for the THC right now because of the federal legal status. It's just not a market we can enter right now. And yes, internationally, that's where we're going. So there are a number of markets, United States, of course, right next door, but also Europe, where a lot of hemp is growing. It's a growing commodity there. And we are in discussions with companies there who are interested in coming on. And we have a really good response. I mean, we started building this in late 2016. We went live in late 17, and now we're early 2019, and we have almost all the big players in the Canadian market on the system. and we are trading in large volumes.
So how did you I'm curious as to how did you come up with this idea? Who came up with it? How big is your company?
We're a very small startup.
Okay.
It's the business model is very lean. It's one of the reasons we can keep our costs low. We do one thing and one thing only, and that is why I was very happy when you had the gentleman from LeafLink here the other day. You were mentioning our name, that I found that interesting, and he clearly had heard of us. And he was right. There's definitely rooms for cooperation between companies like them who do seed to sell and the retail side, because there's markets we won't be bothering with. But seed to sell will be important to allow companies more easily access our system, and we can definitely see ourselves working with these as strategic partners. We're working with a number of strategic partners like 360 Secure Corp, Cannabis License Experts, Dicentra, Tricom Financial for financing, Keystone Labs has come on as a partner, and we don't take money from them. We simply have this as an option for our clients to go to as an open ecosystem. That is our idea. Some people try to build these very complex closed ecosystems for the industry, and I think that is not helpful to the clients. They need flexibility. And so we do this one thing, we do trading, we do it very well, very effectively, simply, safely, securely, cheaply, and other people do whatever they're good at. And there's definitely ways to cooperate with a lot of different players in the market.
That's awesome. Well, that's a fantastic introduction. I'm going to follow the company with interest. Please think of me if you raise money. We'll leave it there for now and come back to you the next time, or I'll see you in Germany for the Berlin conference.
Absolutely, stay in touch, yes.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining us.
All right.